The one thing I've always said to every one of us is the fact that risk management, or I refer to it as capital preservation. This guy right here is this is your insurance, this is your armor. All right, this guy right here is your armor. So, because as much as you know what you are doing, all right, as much as you respect your risk management, as long as you understand your risk appetite, all right, there are times that no matter how messy the market would be, you'll still be able to caution yourself. For instance, if you trade prop firm accounts, let us say you often risk 1% on every setup. I mean, 0.5% on every setup. All right, you risk 0.5% on every setup, and let us say you have 4% daily drawdown. All right, 4% daily drawdown, and then you also have 4% daily drawdown. You also have 8% overall drawdown. All right, on your account. All right, so you might just, although we have not treated trading range, say the last week of this month or first week of March, we are going to treat that. All right, we're going to treat trading plan. I meant trading plan. So we're going to treat trading plan. So one thing you're going to pay attention from is the fact that one way to go about it is the fact that you're risking 0.5%. Yes, you can just limit yourself to, you won't be taking more than 3 trades daily or 4 trades daily. All right, which means with 3 trades daily now you are doing 1.5, while with 4 trades daily you are doing with 3 trades daily you are doing 1.5%, while with 4 trades daily you are doing 2%, which means you are risking 2% overall. So which means if you have lost about 4 trades in that day, that is, you have lost 2% in that day, 0.5 in 4 places, that makes 2%. That means you are done for that day. So you had, in fact, to be on the safer side, even after 3 stop loss, 3 SLs, you can just stress. But then, based on the fact that you are risking 0.5%, this guy still kind of gives you buffer compared to if you are doing 1%. Compared to if you are doing 1%. So definitely, if you are doing 1%, 2, 3 losses max in a day, you are good to go. So you won't go beyond this 4% max threshold. All right, because if you should risk 1% and then you are taking 4 trades, all right, that means you are hitting your daily drawdown for that day, and that doesn't make sense like that. All right, so you need to pay attention to that. So if you do 0.5% risk per day, that means you are risking over 2% for that day. All right. So if you take 4 trades daily and everything hits loss, all right, that means you are done for that day. That is keeping you in check. For what? It is keeping you in check against this 4% daily drawdown. See, the funniest kind of drawdown anyone would have in this life would be daily drawdown. I mean, why would you breach your account based on daily drawdown? That means you legit over traded. That means you traded too much. All right. No matter what, at the end of the day, let's say you lost 2% in on day one, you lost 2% in day two. All right, you lost 2% in that means you have, from this your overall drawdown, right? And from this your overall drawdown, that means you have 4% left. All right. And let us say day three, all right. Let's say you had 2 winning trades with about 3 R. That means you have let's say that means risking 0.5, that is 1.5% and 1.5, that means you have 3%, you are 3% up. All right, so I mean that is just how you can always caution yourself. All right, that's how you can always caution yourself. Risk management is the utmost, is your sophistication. That is your insurance. All right, it keeps you in check day in, day out. Keeps you in check day in, day out. All right, so no matter the market conditions, all right, one thing you should pay attention to is you should pay attention to how you're able to manage your risk. All right, how you're able to manage your risk. So talking about the entries, we have 2 types of entries. We have the aggressive entry, and then we have the conservative entry. That is confirmation. All right, confirmation entry. We have the aggressive entry and the confirmation entry. So this is that as regard entry. And then as regard your kind of setup, we also have origin setup, and we as well we have continuation setup. So I will distinguish. I believe we are familiar with these two already. So I'll just distinguish this and this, continuation and the origin. So let me just talk about this for the aggressive and for the conservative. Let us say you have this setup standing right there. Let us say you have this setup standing right there. So you have this setup right there. All right, so you have the setup right there. And one thing is that you expect price to come into to buy from this level. All right. So what an aggressive trader would do, yeah, is that he will, possibly would wait for price to engineer liquidity, and then he's gonna put his entry here directly, all right, with the stop loss covering this guy, and it's gonna enter immediately. All right. But for that conservative trader, the guy that loves confirmation, all right, that trader, he wouldn't enter aggressively. So I would state the advantages and disadvantages of both right now, that is the pros and cons of both applications. So I'll state that right now. So price came into this level, price came into that level, engineer liquidity, all right, and then price came into this level right here. And then price came into this level right here. So what this guy will do is that he won't enter aggressively. All right, I've listed, we have been talking about entries at the end of the day, but I just want to make a lot of things clear for us tonight. So this confirmation entry guy, is not going to enter aggressively from here. All right, he won't enter aggressively from here at all. So what he's gonna do is that he's gonna wait for his confirmation from this level. All right, he's gonna wait for his confirmation from this level. So what are the pros and cons of advantages and disadvantages of aggressive entry? So one thing is that it helps you. It's a matter of set and forget. Once you have your limit here, your stop loss here, take profit here, internal right there, we know price should definitely target the external. So definitely knows that, oh, I'm expecting price to get here. All right. And another thing it helps you with is the fact that you get lesser chart time. All right, so you have lesser chart time. That is one thing aggressive entry helps you with. But then the disadvantage is the fact that it has lower risk to reward. All right, this aggressive trade right there, it has lower risk to reward. And then you tend to lose some trades that could have been avoided. You tend to lose some trades that could have been avoided. That is, it is very possible for price to come here, wouldn't give you confirmation, but then based on the fact that, oh, you are used to aggressive entry, at the end of the day, price will take you out because price never gave that confirmation. Price never presented that intention to buy. All right. So talking about this confirmation entry right now, talking about this confirmation entry right now, talking about this confirmation entry. One thing this guy helps you with is the fact that it helps you with high probability trades. All right. That is, based on the fact that you are waiting for confirmation. That means the precision is gonna be the precision is higher. Right, based on the fact that whenever price comes in here, you just want to wait for change in direction. All right, price gets into your level, price gives you a break of structure right there. So definitely, what are you doing now? You are entering from somewhere around there. All right, and then where is your target? This becomes your target. Now you compare yourself now to this person. All right, so you waited for confirmation. Where is your confirmation? This is your confirmation. This is your confirmation. This right here is your confirmation. All right, this is your confirmation. So you get higher risk to reward. The moment you're entering from here, definitely your stop loss will be from around slightly below this guy, below this one. All right, so this is just one of our confirmations. So that's why I'm using this one. All right, we've treated about 3-4 confirmation entries. So the same thing I'm saying as regard this can also be applied to the other confirmation entry types that we discussed. All right. So price, you get higher risk to reward, but then the disadvantage you get from this guy right now is the fact that you are prone to having missed entries. All right, a lot of times you would have your confirmation. That is, price would give you your confirmation from here. Price would hold on, please give me a few minutes, please. All right, so I was saying you get higher risk to reward. You get higher risk to reward with your confirmation entry, and then you get to have missed entries as well. So right here, one thing is that you tend to, its disadvantage is the fact that you tend to have missed entries. There are times that price would, take out your price will give you a confirmation, but then price won't come back. All right. Yes, you have your confirmation right here. All right, but then price won't come back. That is one of the things, right? You get chances to, you are exposed to higher chance of missed entries, higher chance of missed entries. So that is one of the disadvantages of this guy. All right, so this is that as regard your entries, that is your aggressive entry and the confirmation entry. So I mean, so at the end of the day, it all depends on what works for you. All right, don't limit yourself to what you hear from me alone. That is one thing every one of us needs to be used to right now. Don't be too acquainted. All right, don't limit yourself. Yes, that's the word. Do not limit yourself to the things you hear from me. You need to pay attention to what happens on the chat as well. All right. A lot of questions you might even have to ask, you might intend to ask, but then, just one day, just one study day would answer all of those questions. Because at the end of the day, I might not even have the perfect responses for some questions sometimes. All right. I might not have the best way to present, but then see, the chat is the best teacher. All right. You're right here, you already have access to the information. So it means if you see something on the chart that it does not align with what you have been taught, or I mean, you know that, oh, this does not align with what I have been taught. And if you see what aligns with what you are familiar with, what you have been taught, of course you would know. All right. So make the chart your friend. So that is one thing. Do not limit yourself to what I say alone. Do not limit yourself to our daily meetings alone. So you need to make the chart your friend. You need to study, pay attention to what works for you and what doesn't work for you. All right, because what works for Scofield might not work for you at the end of the day. Trading is personal. All right, it's a solo sport. It's a you versus you game. All right, my personality that now aligns with the way I trade might not be in sync with you at the end of the day. So that is it. So do not limit yourself to the things I say only. All right, so now talking about that is that as regard aggressive entry and conservative, that is confirmation entries, the advantages and the disadvantages. All right, so now talking about your types of setup, right? Your origin setup and the continuation setup. So when we talk about origin setup basically refers to the level at which the trade started. All right, so now that yeah, so origin setup deals with refers to the level at which the trade started. Right. So in the situation where you have your sweep and your break of structure right here. All right. So price presented for internal liquidity, price presented this. All right. So if you are entering either from here or you're entering from here, this basically is you trading. This is the origin setup. All right. So we have used so much of QM, that is V violated level. So let's use this one now as well. So do be bad. All right. So now this all of I mean, whether you decide to enter from it, decide to enter from it, these are origin setups. That is the levels at which the trade started. You would realize that, oh, in this situation right here, your entry would be here, your trade is still running right here. So when we talk about continuation setup refers to, right here, the trade just started, the direction just got defined and presented right here, and you are entering from the level where everything is started. So the continuation setup is that whereby you have something like this. continuation setup is where you have something like this. So you can decide to choose from this one as well, whichever one works for you. All right, this is your continuation setup. So this right here is your continuation setup, where now that everything has now been defined. All right, everything has now been defined based on you have your I mean, the move has started from here already. So this situation right here, this is your continuation setup. And let me just put it this way. So remember, this is the origin, and you didn't buy from the origin. You didn't buy from this guy, which is the origin. So one thing you would do now is the fact that you want to wait for price. All right. Should I use this? Let me see. Should I use this? All right. So right here now, we know that our direction has now been, the trade started from here. All right. I'm just using this type 2 liquidity, that is the engineer liquidity. So right here now, the trade has started from here. This is the origin. All right. We swept liquidity with broken structure. All right. So one thing you want to do is you want to pay attention to this level, or you want to pay attention to this level. So right here now means you probably want to pay attention to price engineering liquidity for you around there, and then you want to buy from here. All right, so you want to buy from here, and from here you are good to go. So this right here is your continuation setup. This is your origin setup. Like we said, origin setup right there, continuation setup. So continuation setup is basically you entering from a level that is not where the move started from originally. All right, that is you not entering from where the move started from originally. I believe this is, and there are times that sometimes we might just be kind of skeptical as to, would price legit buy from here or not. I mean, one of the things you might want to pay attention from here is that you want to pay attention to if this level right here, if it has been tested at least once. All right, if it has been tested at least once, one thing we have been able to understand is the fact that key levels that gets tested, they hold value. And one thing now is the fact that this A level right here got tested, it overlaps inside of this, because this now will become an imbalance for you. All right, this will become an imbalance, and now it has internal liquidity. So now from here, your logic of entry preference comes in. Do you prefer to enter aggressively, or you want to wait for confirmation? And the same thing applies right here for the origin setup. All right, so this is even the first aspect. All right, so after this is now your entry preference. So right here, do you want to enter aggressively from, or you want to use confirmation? And the same thing right here. Yes, you have everything in check already. So now, I mean, the buy is now confirmed. Do I want to enter aggressively right here, or I want to wait for confirmation entry? So that um as regard entries, and then confirmation entries slash confirmation, and then origin and continuation setups. All right. So let us go into the chat so we can just see some chat examples. Let's see what we have on the charts. Where do we start from today? All right, so let's have GBPUSD. Let's have GBPUSD. So GBPUSD. All right, so starting from the weekly time frame. All right, so one thing we can tell from the weekly time frame is previous weekly candle engulfed. All right, previous weekly candle engulfed. This one, not the previous weekly. Should we say we have a daily, I mean, weekly reject weekly right here. All right, so weekly rejected off a weekly key level right here. We engulfed right here now. And we took out external. So possibly we can just expect some sales. All right, so which is what we currently have on this guy. So weekly rejected weekly right on the weekly time frame, and then daily time frame presented for us a, let us see. All right, so daily time, we got our daily breakouts yesterday. All right, that is, we have our daily breakout right here. So this was presented yesterday. Let me take this out. So we have our daily breakout yesterday. So this is an intel that we can just pay attention to selling opportunities. All right, this means you can pay attention to selling opportunities. So now going into so now this got confirmed yesterday. All right, so coming into the chart today, coming into the chart today. So let us pay attention to what price presented for us today. So one thing we can also pay attention to the fact that is the fact that daily is bearish. All right, daily. I mean, H4 is also bearish based on we have this H4 break to the downside right there. All right. So yeah. So we had a weekly reject weekly and all of that. I mean, let me make it. Uh, Give me a second, please. I'm trying to talk about the particular example as regard to what we are talking about that I'm looking for. All right. All right, so this is GBPUSD. All right, so right here we have something like this. We have this sweep right here. We have this sweep right here, and we have this break of structure. This sweep right here, and we have this break of structure. All right, so this is an intel that now we can expect some sales. All right, on GBPUSD. So this automatically makes this guy our strong guy. Do not forget. All right, this makes it our strong guy. So right here now, what do we have? So price, got into this level and presented for us our breakout right here. All right, our breakout right here. As much as so price presented for us, let's use H4. Okay, yeah. So based on what we have on H4, now we have H4 breakout to the downside right here. So entering from a level like this means you are using means this is more like your origin setup. So because going into H1 now, H1 should give us a let us see. Hold on, please. I'm trying to get something. What time is this? Friday, Monday. Okay, so we took our previous daily high right here. We took our previous daily high. Go back. Let's go into the daily time frame. So we took our previous daily high right here. All right, we took our previous daily high. Weekly reject weekly. All right, this is the new week right here. This is Monday. So Monday took our previous daily high. And if you paid attention to the call we had on Sunday, I mentioned the fact that in a situation like that, you can just work with, weekly reject weekly. You can work with this guy if you find it, as long as you know that it's in alignment with your direction. So going into the H4 time frame right now, going into the H4 time frame, where's the H4 time frame? So we took our previous daily high here, and then H4 gave us a breakout. So which means this is our entry level, all right, for the origin setup. This is our entry level for the origin setup. And then because this thing literally started from here, and then talking about continuation setup, this right there, this one is your continuation setup. Can we see the difference now? This one is your continuation set of this guy, based on the fact that everything has now been defined, and now we know that now we now have high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower. We broke below this one, so this is our this is your like your extra confirmation, and then you use this level as your continuation setup. All right. So origin setup is you entering from the level where the move started, while continuation is you entering at the midpoints where where price can continue moving from towards that same direction. So let us also check out some other examples on other pairs. Let's see what we have on USD card. All right, so USD CAD actually is bearish. All right, this is bearish, but then one thing is that in a bullish environment we would find sales, and in a bearish environment we would find buys. So the buys you have in that bearish environment, as in what you can see right now on this USD CAD, that is our reversal, and also paying attention to what we have right there. So why did I say USD CAD is bearish? We have this most recent break to the downside. So, but why did I say this is like a reversal? This thing. So the reason is because we took out this previous weekly low. All right, we swept it, and then the high is still standing. The high is still standing right here. All right, so let's go into the daily time frame now. Let's see what we have on the daily time frame. So there is no break of structure yet on the daily time frame. All right, there is no breakout to validate that sweep yet on the daily time frame. But then we can still work with what we have on the H4 time frame. So let us switch into H4 time frame now. Going into the H4 time frame, we would realize that H4 started giving us bullish intention right from, where is that weekly low that got taken out again? Hold on. This guy. So let's go back into H4. Okay, so this is it. So going into H4 right now, we would realize that we have this low right here. And what can we see? This is a low to this high, higher low, higher high. Higher high, low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So right here, price give us a break of this structure right here. Price broke this structure for us right here. So it looks tiny, but then nothing is random. Like I always tell us, nothing is random. So what did price do? You can see this candle came right into this one right here. So let's go into a true time frame if it looks clearer. All right, so H2 time frame presented for us our sweep and breakout structure. So this right here now is our origin setup. So you have your breakout structure right here. You have your breakout structure right here. Now you want to enter from, say you want to enter from here. All right, so enter from here. So now talking about continuation setup right now. Continuation setup would be you entering from this place. Can see this guy got tested. All right, this guy got tested. It also has what? It also has internal liquidity above it. And price came to that level, and you can see how price bought. So it means from here, you can use your confirmation as you can use your entry confirmation again. You can as well still enter aggressively. And from here, you can still do the same thing. Either you enter aggressively or you use confirmation entry. So let us pay attention to this guy now on a lower time frame to see if we do have a confirmation entry or we do not. And the same thing here as well. So let's go into H1. Let's see what we have on H1 time frame. So the confirmation we would have from this one is the fact that H1 gave us breakout. H1 gave us this breakout right here. This is the breakout H1 presented for us. So your confirmation entry from this H2 that rejected of this guy now would be what? Would be this one. This H1 breakout. Let's use M30. Let's say we say H1 validates H4. So let's now use M30 for H2 in that regard. So let's use M30 for H2. So we got that rejection from here, and at the end of the day, what did price do? Price came back into this breakout level. So this is your confirmation. Automatically, your stop loss is going to be here. So I feel like it's exactly cleaner on H1. It is cleaner on H1. So yes, so H1 gave us a breakout. So entry by this level, your stop loss right at this level. All right, so this is the confirmation for the entry we have right there. And then for the second one, that is this guy, for this one right here. So let us also go back into that H2 time frame. Remember, H2 started rejecting, and in fact, it is also something on H4. Oh, nothing. It doesn't have any major reference on H4 based on those levels. All right. So right here, H2 rejected. All right, and then we can see you can always use your H1 for confirmation for both H2 and H4. Don't worry. All right, so right here, where is our confirmation right here? Look at it. Price tapped into this level and we have our sweep, your breakout structure. So it means right here, you have your entry right here. You have your entry right here. This is you can just use this either the breakout level, or you can use the QM level. And your stop loss is what is going to be here. So now pay attention to what I said. So in fact, let's start from the aggressive entry now. So let's say we entered from here aggressively. Let's say we enter from here aggressively. One thing is that you would want to pay attention to something. You probably want to cover at least one more key level, or let's say you want to use. So let's say you are covering one more key level. That is now, it means you probably want to cover this one or this one, right? So let's say we are using 8 pip stop loss. 8 pip stop loss. All right. So let us go back into the daily time frame to target where we would have as our overall target for the buys. Okay, so let's say you want to have this this open close that got violated right here. Where's my listing now? Okay, let's say you want to have this guy as a target based on the fact that you feel like price can get and still sell off. All right. So let's go back into was that H2? Yes, H2, yes. Okay, good. I even have it already. So see how many you have, three HARA right here, three risk to reward. But if you are now working with this confirmation, let us now pay attention to this confirmation on our H1. All right, so this is for the aggressive entry. And then for the confirmation, it means this would be your entry for your confirmation, this level that got validated twice. All right, so now let us adjust our entry right now into this one. Our entry into this level right here. What's your So our entry right here and stop loss, this is 5. This is, covering this guy. So one thing I always say, I encourage is it's okay to just use to just leave breathing space. Let's say based on breathing space, now we want to do 4 pip stop loss. All right, now we have 4 pip stop loss. Where we targeting? We are targeting this place. Now you have about 6 risk to reward. Now compare this one now to the aggressive entry. So this is where those advantages and disadvantages comes in. All right, so that is it. So let us check. Let's check another pair. Let's do gold. Please, are we understanding? Are we understanding? Am I making sense at all? All right, so this is XAUSD. We said price has taken out this low periodically. This guy is our overall target. So it means long term we are bullish. Also coupled with the fact that we now have a breakout to the upside right here. All right, we now have a breakout. So it means for the long term we are bullish. But then the fact that we are bullish doesn't mean we cannot still leverage on some selling opportunities that price can possibly bring our way. This is XAUSD. So the most recent break, all right, on daily time frame is what is to the downside from this place. All right, from this, I'm referring to this one, not this one yet. We're talking about this. These are most recent breaks. So it means from here we are bearish. Remember, weekly is bullish, but then the fact that weekly is bullish does not mean we cannot find sales, and it does not mean we cannot pay attention to sales. All right. So the most important thing is that be intelligent enough to distinguish if you are trading the reversal phase or the expansion phase. You need to pay attention to that fact, all right? Do you want to buy? Do you want to sell? Okay, I want to buy, but this is better than buying. Is it the expansion phase of the market or the reversal phase of the market? So try as much as possible to always be able to define this every time you want to pay attention to your trade. Whenever you want to take trades, it's not enough to know the structural environment. You also need to pay attention to the structural phase. So right now we know that this cell right here is our structural phase, and we know that this breakout right here, if you ever get a confirmation from this area that daily time frame is reacting from, this should be our target. All right, this low should be our target. So now let's go into H4 time frame now to see if we do have any confirmation from this levels that gold reacted from, and also subjecting it to what we are talking about right now, confirmation and origin setup and confirmation setup, origin setup, continuation setup, and then confirmation entries and then entries. All right, so this is that level. So gold started reacting from this level, so we have daily reaction, and then H4 gave us an engulfing, but then properly we got our H4 breakout right there. We got our H4 breakout right there. So it means so now that we have this breakout on H4 right here, all right, so we're not going to H1 time frame or H2 to see alignment. You are trading reversal, so you want to be careful. All right, it's you want to be careful. So right here we let's pay attention to each of any confirmation and price presented for us right here. Okay, so I think the confirmation price presented would be this engulfing. So H4 started rejecting, and then each one gave us this presented for us this engulfing right here. So it means this is your entry for origin setup. All right, this would be your entry for origin setup. So, and what we just did right now is just for is our confirmation this thing as well. Right, so your entry, I mean your stop loss would be right above that low. I mean above that high. And we know that price should definitely take out that external being this one. All right, can you see that delivery now? All right, but then going back into that H4 time frame, if you decide to, oh, I mean you can just feel like, oh, price has presented for me my H4 now is in alignment with that daily time frame, so you just want to enter from here. So where would your entry be? You can just decide to put your entry right there, but then based on the fact that you're entering aggressively. All right. What I just showed is the confirmation. So this is for the aggressive. So you're entering right here, and you are just skeptical. Oh my God, would price take out this high? Should I cover this high or I shouldn't cover this high? All right. So let's say you decided to cover that high. See the risk to reward you would get from that origin setup from that origin. This is about 4. Meanwhile, the confirmation presented for us how many this thing. Let us see. Presented for us about. Hold on, please. I'm trying to. All right. The confirmation presented for us was this. Actually, no, this isn't it. Oh, this is it. These are confirmation right here. Our confirmation presented for us how many pip stop loss now? See, I mean, how many risk to reward? About. Can you see? About 10 risk to reward right here. About 10. That's what we have right here, about 10 risk to reward. All right. So now paying attention to that guy, we know that this is our overall target. All right. Price started your this thing right here. So I mean, talking about continuation areas right now for this H4, for this guy. Talking about continuation areas for this sale. Let us see what we have on H2. You just want to pay attention to levels that price has violated at, I mean, your criteria for paying attention to a continuation setup. I mean, it might be a level that has just been violated aggressively, impulsively, or a level that has been tested and overlaps inside of an imbalance. So those might just be the preferences, your checklist that you might want to pay attention when it comes to continuation setups. So right here, this is H2, right? So this would have been a good level. So let's go into H1. Let's use H1. All right. So this would have been a good level because you'd feel like price actually tested this guy and it overlaps inside of this imbalance. This is a missed entry for you. All right. So another level would you can consider for your before price got into this guy. I think that is the only one. This is the only continuation setup area, but then price didn't come back into that level. All right, price did not come back. Let's see H4. So nothing there, nothing for you. All right, nothing for you. Because I don't want to consider when after price took out this guy, after price took out that external, no, that is not the best time for you to look for, for you to look for sales based on the fact that we are trading reversals. So the fact that we are trading reversals, price has taken out the external. So from that external, anything can happen. As we can see, price took out that external and then price started buying again. All right, so let's do the same thing for the buys that now started after price took out that external. So you need to pay attention to the fact that we said overall we are bullish. All right, weekly is bullish, and majorly, all right, structurally for the major structure, all right, this is a low to this high, higher low, higher high, right? So this is our major structure, all right. So pay attention. So all of the things we now have, you would realize they are still within this level and this level. So these are just like minor structure. So someone asked question the other day about understanding minor. So these ones are just like a minor structure because this is our low to this high, higher low, higher high. So it means this is our ISM. So all of these are now minor structures, but regardless, we still have to pay attention to everything price is presenting right here as well. All right, so now, let us take this guy out. So price has taken out that level we expect it to We expect that is this external right there. So going into the H4 time frame now, what can we see on the H4 time frame? Price broke structure to the upside. All right, price presented for us a breakout. Price took out this external, and you would also realize that price also started reacting from a certain level, this level. So which means this is now looking like it's internal liquidity. So price did what? H4 reject H4 for us, and what H4 also presented for us, H4 breakout. So we got that confirmation that this is a high to this low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, break out. All right, break off structure. All right, price broke the structure right there. I believe this is making sense to everyone. If you don't understand, you can just indicate in the chat box so I can just come over anything. You can say I'm actually not going outside of the fact that I'm presenting for us what your origin setup is and what your continuation setup is. All right. So just pay attention. So right there we have so yes, we got our proper confirmation from this level, right? But then yes, we got our proper confirmation from this level. So, some might also prefer to do the regular H4 reject H4 and then H1 breakout from here. All right, so which means this is now looking like your origin setup. So let's pay attention to what we have on H1 from that guy. So from this guy now, what does this? So now we have H4, reject H4, and then H1 gave us what? A breakout. Makes sense, right? So it means this automatically this becomes your origin setup. All right, you can use this one, or you can use this one. All right, so but then let's use this one. So this is your origin setup. All right, this is your origin setup, which means your stop loss, your entry right there and your stop loss maybe slightly below this one or below this one or below this one. So it all depends on what you prefer. All right, so this is your origin setup, and then talking about your continuation setup right now. So your continuation setup could be this guy. All right, this is a good continuation level. This is also a very good continuation level. Yes, this is also a good continuation level. All right. This is also a good continuation level. Price didn't come into this one, but price came into this one. Let's go back into H4 so no one gets confused. All right. So even on this H4, we can have this. The origin setup looks clear from this guy. Looks clear from this guy. All right. While your continuation setup would be just from this one. So it means from here you can use your confirmation and let's say now we have H4 reject H4 right here. And then let's see search for rejected for this would have been good. So this is a level, this is now that situation where price doesn't come back into your confirmation zone. All right, H1 break of structure to the upside, see, but price didn't come back there. Price did not come back there. All right, so right here now you have a missed entry. Right here you have a missed entry. All right, so now let us now pay attention to this second guy, to this one right here. So we know H4 is now in alignment with our overall direction. That is our higher time frame. So H4 gave us that H4 breakout structure right, and price came back into that level. And one thing you would also realize is the fact that price definitely did react from an imbalance. All right. Yes, you have breakout structure. So where did price react from? Look at this high to this low. Our imbalance, just mark the imbalance line, you are good. All right. So price started rejecting. Price should balance that old imbalance, right, and started rejecting. So what can we now pay attention? So let's see what we have on the H1 time frame for a possible confirmation. Price presented a confirmation, but then price never came back there. Let's see what we have on M30. All right, we can tweak M30 with our H1 based on the fact that we are trading the expansion phase. All right, so what do we have? We have our sweep of liquidity and break, but let's use M45. This should be clearer, the price. No, so let's just stick to M30. So what do we have right here? Price goes a breakout. All right, so where is the breakout? This is the breakout right here. So what did the price do? Price came back into this one. Oh, sorry, this is your breakout, Joe. Don't mind me. This is the breakout. So what did the price do? The price gave you that breakout right, and should I say price came back into this one or this one? So you can just decide to use any of the breakout structure. You can decide to use this one as your entry. You can decide to use this. You can decide to use this, and you can also decide to use this one. So whichever one works for you. Excuse me, please. So you can set to use anyone that works for you. All right. So right, the price came back into this one, but price didn't come back into this one. Um, yes. So let's do one more. Maybe one more example now. Okay, do I use? Let me see. Okay, CHF GPY. Someone just recommended. And see, one thing I also want everyone to pay attention to the fact, don't limit yourself to just the pure Scofield trades. So the fact that I trade E and G only does not mean you should pay attention to only E and G. You know, you are still in the learning phase. Just spread your wings. I just choose to trade E and G because of spread, nothing else because of spread. If I see CHF NGN, I will do the same thing. I will do on GU on CHF NGN. If I see ZAR GBP, the same thing I will do on EU is what I will do on that pair. All right. So the most important thing is to be able to do is to be able to do the same thing. So able to is being able to repeat that skill across anywhere you find yourself. All right. Repeat the skill anywhere you find yourself. So let's start this guy from let's build. I can see we are bullish already, Sha, but let's just start from the. All right. So you can see we are bullish, all right. Weekly time frame is bullish. Weekly is bullish. So let's do something from this level. So weekly is bullish. Daily also. Let us. Okay, good. So daily is also bullish. So I'm working with this move. We are working with this move, not this new one. We are working with this move. So what can we see? We know weekly is bullish, all right. So now we can see that we have weekly that rejected off weekly key level, and then daily time frame presented for us a breakout. This is our breakout, all right. This one is our breakout. So it means from here now we can pay attention to entering from. Listen, can pay attention to entering from this guy. Can pay attention to entering from this V level right there, all right, which price eventually bought from. Let me try to identify a target point from my pen. All right, so this will be our closest external. If I'm not wrong, we can still go beyond there too. Oh my God. So I have this daily that reacted from this V level right here. So going into H4 time frame. Going into H4 time frame. We would also realize that we can even still refine that level, that's a daily level into this H4. So refinement, talking about refinement, I'm not sure I've ever addressed this. Refinement is basically just you adjusting your entry either below or slightly above, but usually it is always below. For instance, if I want to buy if my higher time frame this thing is here and I have something like this on H4, I can just refine it into this one. You can see I'm only making slight change. But then let's say your daily time frame is here, and then you are marking this one on your H4 time frame. This is no longer refinement. This is something else entirely. All right, this is something else entirely. So right now we can see how this is our daily level. Then we're able to refine it into this H4 level right there. So one of our confirmations is once price takes out the previous H4 low, we can, and while the high is still standing, we can have this for our entry. Did price come back there? Let me zoom it. No, price didn't, but then on a normal day, if you are trading this pair, you should be familiar with adding spread. So of course, if I ever traded this one, price is gonna trigger me because I will add spread. I will add spread because the spread is going to be big. So yes, it makes sense for you to add spread. Look at me saying tonight's call is going to be a short one. Oh my God, I'm sorry. So yeah, so this is our first entry right here. So this becomes the origin of this trade. All right, origin. But then, so one thing is now that price presented for us this confirmation, this breakout. Price never came back. Price never came back. Thank you. Price never came back. All right, price never came back. But then let us pay attention to let's say this is H4. Let's see how many pip stop loss this would have been entering from here directly. So this is about 25 pips JPY pair. That was Brazil. So let's now we can say let's go into let me use H3 first. Nothing. Let's see H2. Okay, so on H2, what do we have? What am I seeing? Like I said, price didn't actually trigger this open close key level in all honesty. But if you are trading this pair, price will definitely trigger you because it will add spread. So that's why I'm considering it. All right, price will trigger you. Imagine this guy now showing you on your broker. This guy showing you about 20 pips. 20. Your spread will be nothing less than 15 for this guy. In fact, let's even say 25 on some brokers, right? Let's say 25. So of course, you should know that your entry will never be here in your execution, never. Because what if it is a sniped entry? What if price snipes it? So of course you would have to add spread. So of course if I'm ever to trade this pair, I would add spread. So yes, I'll be triggered. So right here, where is our confirmation for this guy? On H2, I can see this guy as my let me check H1 first. Okay, good. So we can say we have H4 reject H4. So our proper confirmation got triggered on H1. So nothing less. There's nothing worth negotiating anymore. All right, H4 reject H4. Remember, I started from H4. H4 started rejecting off that V level after the low has been taken out. So this is the confirmation entry from that guy. All right, this is the confirmation entry. So it means this is the origin setup. While as price continues, this now can become your confirmation entry. Continuation level. All right, continuation entry, continuation setup. This is your origin setup. This is your continuation setup. Why now you can see this guy. Got tested several times, overlapped inside this imbalance. Look at this is an imbalance right here. This low to this high, that's your imbalance. All right. So now price got into this level, and I feel like on H2, yeah, on H2 it is a breakout as well on H2. So it means it is also a missed entry on this one. But if you did pay attention to this open close and I got violated, yes, this should make sense to you. So now we can say we have several H2 and H1 rejections, right? Several H2 rejections. And one thing about as long as you've been able to define your listing, see, don't stick to a particular time frame. You can see how I'm moving from H2 to H1 to H3 to H4, although I use less of H3. Like I always say, that's a very underrated time frame. You can also start paying attention to it. All right, H3 time frame is a very underrated time frame. So let me see. So now you can see from H1. All right, from H1, let's see if we did have a confirmation entry for that guy for this our continuation setup. So yes, we did. So where's the entry for this guy? This is it. All right, this is your continuation setup for this guy. Your confirmation entry for this continuation setup. Your confirmation entry for this continuation. So you can see this guy got tested. too many times, 1, 2, 3, violated, price came back there. Since from here now, your stop loss should be logically should be below this one, should be below this one. All right, or and logically, but then if you want to do, say you want to cover one more key level, or you want to do maximum number of stop loss, that works as well. All right, so this should be all for now. Let me see. So this should be all for now. So in this case right now, for this current one, this could have been someone's continuation setup level. Price never came back there. All right, price never came back there. In fact, price never came back. Price never came back. So do not forget. So just do you have? I mean, does anyone have? Do you have any more questions? Do we have any more questions? So I mean, in your personal study, based on based on how often you see these things, you can just create something for yourself from there. Do I want to be trading origin setup? Okay, so if I'm trading origin setup, I am comfortable, I'm comfortable doing I am comfortable entering aggressively. Why? Because origin setups are always closer to invalidation level one. But then, when it comes to continuation setup, you have to be careful. All right. So the reasonable logic to continuation setup and its stop loss, yeah, it would be having a maximum number. I mean, yeah, your stop loss limits. Let's say I want to enter from here. All right. So I can just decide to just put my stop loss below this one. So you can see me now I'm doing, let's say I'm covering at least one more key level. So now I'm covering this one alongside just in case. All right, just in case I'm covering this one. But I can also decide to, let's say I want to do 25 pip stop loss maximum for this guy. All right, or JPYP, you need to be careful. I'm doing 30. So 30 pip stop loss. So yeah. But then, you know, yeah, so that is it for this guy. But then imagine if you actually did enter from here, if you did enter from this origin, from this one right here. All right, you'd realize you have confidence in this one. Why? Because I mean, you are definitely covering the invalidation level. But for this one, you are not covering the invalidation level. No. You are not. You are not. You are just following your instinct and following and trusting the data you have gathered. The data you've been able to gather over time on your system. All right, so that's why I started by saying don't limit yourself to what Scofield says. All right, I beg of you, do not limit yourself to what Scofield tells you, to what Scofield says. So try to make your personal research. So from your personal research, you trust yourself more from there. You trust your setup more from there, and you also trust your system more from there. All right, you also trust your system more from there. So in absence of questions, so let us call it a night, right? Say, and would meet. Like I said, I'll just give us the of next week. Just do a personal study. If you want to watch all the videos from A to Z, do that. All right. So refine your system, study, back test, forward test, study the charts. If you've taken losses, study your losses and study why price hits your loss, and study if the trade goes well, study it as well. Right. For instance, Euro USD today, I had everything in check. I posted it on the channel. All right, I posted on the channel and then I got stopped out. I mean, that is trading for you. All right, that is trading for you. That is trading for you. Where is it? So yes, so daily reject daily, daily rejected daily, H4 break of structure to the upside. I had my entry somewhere around H1. Why? Actually, price never presented confirmation entry. All right, so remember something. That is one of the disadvantages. So I'm telling you real life right now, raw facts. All right, raw facts. Look at the price rejected from this guy. This is that level on, your what might look like this on H4. All right, would be like this on H1. Would be like this on H1 a lot of times. Your breakout on H4 would be a break of structure on H1. a lot of times your breakout on H4 would be a break of structure on H1. So yeah, so I had my entry here, and of course you can see no confirmation whatsoever, no confirmation whatsoever. All right, price took me out, but then if I had waited for confirmation, definitely I would have avoided this loss. Remember what I said? Using confirmation, it helps you, it saves you from unnecessary losses. All right, it saves you from unnecessary loss. So someone just asked the question and says, "Is there any way we can backtest if we don't have the premium on trading?" Yes, see, it's, yes, see, you can just mark out. Let us say where is horizontal to now. You can just decide to say, okay, oh, I want to backtest. Um, where is monthly time frame? I want to backtest everything that has happened from here, from this candle, from the moment we swept this one. I want to backtest everything that has happened from here onto the recent one. The only thing with this is the fact that you cannot go back too much. So if you are someone that uses M15, you will not be able to go back in time for this style. All right. So I mean, price has so now it means you are paying attention to all that has happened from here. So you are paying attention to this. You are seeing it in real time. All right. You are seeing it in real time. You are seeing it in real time. So it is just like you are studying per se. It's more like you are studying. But then one thing about this style is the fact that don't deceive yourself. I beg you, don't deceive yourself. All right, don't deceive yourself. So you can see now. Oh, I can be like, oh, now price has taken our previous monthly low. So, you are following the story. Price has given me what? Price has given me a break of structure right here. All right. So next thing, what are you paying attention to? Price presented a lot of times. This is even how me I study. This is how I backtest. I don't do all those trading view premium whatever. The only thing I prefer forward testing to backtesting, this style where you just cut out some this thing. I prefer to analyze in real time. I won't execute, but then I'll put my risk to reward. I'll take my screenshot and come back there later. That's also another way you can back for that is forward testing though. All right. So right here, I have my weekly that rejected right here. All right, weekly rejected right here. Now going into the it means I'm following through with this candle right now. This, on a normal day, if it was to back test, you would take out all of these ones. You take out everything happening right here. All right. So so right now I'm paying attention to my daily time frame. That I'm paying attention to it from this one. So going to your daily time frame now. All right, going into your daily time frame, I can also see that price took out previous daily low and whatever. See, I just cut it, but then this is not if you don't have premium. All right, if you don't have premium, just leave it out and just follow through what I just explained. All right. I hope this makes sense to someone, and I hope you found some sort of enlightenment. All right, so that is one of the ways you can backtest if you don't have premium on trading view, of course. So yes, sir, you're welcome. So see you guys when we see. Bye bye. Love you all. Thank you very, very much. Bye.